Welcome back to our series on Bach's Orgelbüchlein. Today we're looking at a Good Friday piece, Christus, der uns selig macht. This is a hymn about the events of Good Friday, and it certainly pulls no punches. It speaks of Christ being taken by godless people, led like a thief, abused, spat upon, and led away to be crucified. And Bach's piece, of course, is equally intense. It has a huge level of dissonance, chromaticism. Bars 9 to 10, for instance, has that chromatic scale, a whole octave's worth of chromaticism. And elsewhere, the harmonies are very aggressive. I was actually intending to record this episode on an 18th century organ because the unequal temperament brings out some of these chords, particularly that B major chord in bar 3, which is absolutely excruciating. I couldn't do that because the 18th century organs in general lack a bottom C sharp on the pedals, and there is a bottom C sharp in the pedals in bar 10 of this piece. How Bach intended that to be played, I'm not quite sure, or how he played it himself, but in the event I've decided to play the piece on a modern organ so that we get the bottom C sharp, even though we miss out on the pain of those various chords in that temperament. The choral prelude as a whole is a canon between the uppermost voice and the pedal, and the inner voices also begin canonically, or imitatively at least, and remain imitative on and off throughout the piece as a sort of second layer of imitation. So to bring out the canon, I would suggest at least a pedal reed if you've got one handy. Registration in general really needs to highlight the nature of the text. We always have a tendency with Passiontide hymns and Passiontide music in general to play it rather quietly, rather respectfully, rather meditatively. But Bach, the theologian as ever, is thinking anything but. Bach is thinking of violence and brutality of Good Friday. So I think that it's very appropriate in this piece to choose a registration that brings out that nature. I've chosen a registration of this organ, which is actually slightly out of tune today, but nonetheless, I think brings out the general colour, the general picture of this piece. If you're looking for a piece of Bach, a nice piece of Bach to play for some event, then I would suggest you look elsewhere, because this piece really does embody brutality, aggression. It really does refer very specifically to Good Friday and to those events. And I think that's something we can bring out in the playing as well.